Eva Noblezada made a Broadway splash when she was chosen as a teen to play Kim in the big-budget revival of Miss Saigon, earning a Tony Award nomination for her powerful performance. Now the still young standout is back on the boards, playing out the classic love story of Orpheus and Eurydice in the new musical Hadestown. Hear her talk about bringing a voice to her often silent character, how she learned to stage cry as a teen, and why she feels like a contest winner on this week's Show People. Eva, you're back on Broadway. So happy you're here.
I'm very happy to be here.
How does it feel to be a Broadway vet now? 2 years
am
ago,
I
you were a newbie. You were a newbie 2 years.
I feel like I'm only on rank 2 out of 50, but thank you for the compliments.
Does it feel different this time around for you?
It feels very different. Show's completely different. I'm in a different home. Those are two very big things.
Tony nominee. You can say Tony nominee forever. You can say Tony nominee.
People say that, but sometimes I go, ugh.
It's kind of awkward.
It's kind of awkward.
The period of time of the nominee just keeps going on for the rest
But
of
it's
your
also
life.
like, I'm not asking for that title. And I feel, you know what I mean? I feel like they're like, oh, she really insists that it's Tony nominee.
Just take it. Just breathe it in.
Okay.
Take it. Let's talk about Hadestown.
Let's talk about it.
love this show. I saw it in London.
You did.
It was fun. We had a cocktail after. Which you paid
No,
for,
we
by
didn't.
the
We
way.
had a few cocktails.
Thank you for that, by the way. That was nice.
Of course.
It's a really good show, and you're new to it. I mean, this show has been around. It sounds like they were doing it like up in Barnes.
Yeah, well, Anaïs started writing this, I think, in 2006. I don't want to get the date wrong, but I mean, it was ages ago.
Yeah.
And it started out with just, I think they put everybody in a van or a truck and did like a tour in Vermont.
Wow.
So it has been a long process.
Nobody told me about that tour. I would have gone to see that. That
Would you have
We
gone?
could have gone.
Like
you weren't even. You were like in
Woodstock
grade
Hall?
school. So it kind of had humble beginnings.
Yes.
And now it's on the Broadway.
Now it's your neighbor now. We're neighbors.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah. It's
And
incredible.
so you're new to it, though.
Very
They
new.
did it. I remember they did it off Broadway.
They did it off-Broadway, New York Theatre Workshop, and then
Yep.
they did it in Edmonton in Canada.
Yes.
And then I joined the journey at the National Theatre in London.
Yeah. So you'd obviously been hearing about it.
Yes, I mean, I'm grateful that they even asked me to audition, because before that, I, stupid enough, had never heard of Hadestown or The Goddess that is Anaïs Mitchell. So thank goodness that it brought that whole package into my life. And then I'm still with Journey.
So she's a goddess.
She is actually an actual goddess.
And you are playing Eurydice.
Yes.
Which is a woman people have heard of. She's
I
famous.
hope so. Brush up on your Greek mythology. The old tale of Orpheus and Eurydice.
Yeah.
I think in mythology they parallel the love story between Orpheus and Eurydice with a modern-day Romeo and Juliet, saying that their existences as individuals could not exist without the other, which I think is very beautiful.
And it's super sad and heartbreaking and beautiful, and it's all of these things. And what I love about the show is it captures all of that drama in its own way, and it's such a beautiful piece of theater. And when you go back to mythology, you kind of can't go wrong. I mean, there's a reason why these stories have lived on.
The beautiful thing about mythology is that it allows humans to see like godlike bodies, things that we almost look up to, but the gods are created based off of humans. So it's very mystical, and it's rich of history, and like the myths change over time, which I love. So Eurydice's death in the mythologies, she was definitely killed by a snake, but the ways, and like I'm wearing all these snake things,
Cool,
my method acting.
course,
But the way that she was killed, she fell into a viper's nest. She got bit by a viper on the day of her wedding. Like there's many tales that tell.
Yeah.
It's just interesting and lovely.
You can really go into a wormhole, I'm sure. Of
A snake hole, really.
Huh.
Yeah. But yeah, you could.
You really can, because so much has been written about her, and there have been, and she has inspired so much art in the past.
She has, yes.
Yeah. So did you find yourself doing that? Were you like Googling and?
I don't like doing too much research if people have played a role before.
Yeah.
But I mean, she was based off of a story, so I did look up a few images, and I have 2 on my phone that I look at. I don't want to pull too much in, but it's just heartbreaking. And I don't want to give anything away, but I mean, if you still don't know how it ends, probably do your best to keep it that way, because the show will kill you.
Yeah, I think even if you do know, it's incredibly powerful, but it's really cool to kind of forget You know, I went into it kind of purposely not brushing up on it.
Yeah.
And so it was fun to sort of fall into the Hadestown version of it.
Yes.
And it is, but it's a lot.
It is a lot. I forget what happens sometimes because I'm so into it. I mean, I'm in love. I feel like a contest winner. I feel like
I saw
the
you said
luckiest
that on
person.
Instagram. You mean like because you're in the show?
Yeah. I go into rehearsal and I'm like, oh my God, I'm in the show.
You clearly didn't see yourself in Miss Saigon. Because
I did not.
You were
I would not choose ever to do that.
It was an epic performance.
Thank you,
So
Paul.
anyone who saw that performance would understand why that girl is in another Broadway musical.
It's very kind.
So is it hard for you to wrap your head around that sometimes?
Hard yes. Hard yes.
So let's talk about your co-stars in Hadestown. So there's that Reeve Carney. You have a lot of romance with him. He was the Spider-Man kid.
Yes, he was.
Now he's back.
Parker, Peter.
Yeah. And I was actually thinking you two might kind of have that in common, that you were both in these, you were very young in these big shows.
Yes.
And sort of like, that was your big, you were sort of thrown into the middle of a major Broadway musical. And now this time it feels like you're getting to sort of go into a show together and really show your acting and it's not just about you but it's really a great ensemble piece.
Yes.
And you're able to sort of create these beautiful new roles, and they're not based on a past, you know what I mean?
It's very special.
Think about it.
The word that I use to describe this show, especially when it comes to the energy with the other actors, is cosmic. There's always, Rachel Chavkin always tries her best.
You're an amazing director.
How am I working with her? I still don't know.
Because she saw you in Miss
seeing her
Saigon.
in 30 minutes and I'm like, I can't believe I know her. But she is so amazing at creating this energy of just this cosmic astrology in the room that's just like, I feel like I'm walking amongst the stars when I do this show. And I mean, it's unfortunate that I have to do this with Reeve Carney.
Right.
It
Yeah.
is.
Yeah. Well, what do you not like about him, or what do you like? What have you bonded with him about, and what is it like doing this every night with him?
Don't know if we have hours.
He's an interesting. He's a different kind of guy.
He is the best guy.
Yeah.
He is incredible. And I hope he never watched this because I actually promised him I would never compliment him because I have none. Just kidding. I have a lot. But he is absolutely incredible. And I'm very, very lucky to work with him, but more so just to have met him and to now have him in my life because he's stuck with me now.
Well, what's different about him? Because he's kind of a special guy.
He
has a
is
totally different energy about him.
So intelligent, but it's so on the back foot that he just takes it all in.
Yeah.
He really takes every detail in. And it comes through with the way that he writes his own music, the way that he speaks to people. When he speaks to people, he really looks at you, which means that on stage, when I'm acting, we learned to trust each other really quick. It was a very comfortable thing, which I'm very, very grateful for. So we just have a lot of fun.
Well, let's stop complimenting him, because enough, you're right.
God, yeah. I feel like I'm gonna throw up.
In fact, let's freshen the palate, let's take a break. We'll be back with more Eva Noblezada. We are back with Tony nominee, Eva Noblezada. Back on Broadway in Hadestown. I love it, that makes you laugh.
It makes me giggle.
And you were there, you were at the Tonys.
Was I?
You were nominated.
No, I was.
Yeah, all kinds of things happened. It was
the canapes were great.
You're a young actress.
I'm quite young.
You were quite young. I'm really interested in the roles that you're attracted to. Because if you really look at, you haven't done much that we've seen. I missed all the high school stuff.
I've been working professionally for about 10 minutes.
10 minutes. So we saw you do Kim. A lot happened to her. I know you were Eponine.
I was.
And now you're Eurydice. These are heavy roles. Do you think that is intentional? Do you think that sort of fits who you are? Or is this just sort of an accident because it's only been 10 minutes?
I will say, I think I'm quite empathetic, and I'm a very black and white personality, so if I'm gonna be all in, I'm all in. Mm-hmm. And I am hugely passionate about what I love to do, and also hugely passionate about what I don't like. So I think that makes these hugely emotional roles easy for me to play. I can cry like that. I mean, that's not something I'm like bragging about right now in this stressful moment of my life, but when it comes to being on stage, I love that drama of having the audience with me, and I love the feeling of when somebody can break my heart when I read a novel or when I listen to someone sing. that's part of an emotional journey that I think is rare and very not as accessible as it should be. I think we're sometimes scared to show our emotions, but I see that as a huge strength. I just love crying on stage.
Well, you have a great energy in your show and in life because you're just sort of like all out there.
Yeah.
And considering your age, it's so interesting to think about someone who was, again, balled up and thrown in at that age, because even as a journalist, I immediately expected you to sort of be just like any other actress leading a Broadway show in any interaction, but actually like you were like right out of school, and so what was different about that? What was the actual experience like for you to go into something like Miss Saigon at that point in your life?
Oh, Jeebus, that's a very loaded question.
It's a lot. And you've talked a lot about it.
I do talk a lot about it because I'm a huge advocate for mental health and anxieties and talking about the repercussions of being in an industry this tough, which it is tough. The things we love sometimes bite us on the butt if we let it. And I'm a huge advocate also for learning. I'm very grateful to have the group of people in my life that are around me. It's a very colorful, radiant, strong, and encouraging and supportive circle of people. And without them, I honestly don't know how I'd be the woman I am today. But I remember my dad, when I was younger, he was my teacher in everything. He went to school to be a music teacher. He made me do basketball, so much so that I almost went to college to do basketball. Can you believe it? Ding, ding, ding. And he was also the guy at the piano making me do my arpeggios and making me sing at church when I was 5. And he was the one giving me tax advice. Even now, I love you, Dad. Thank you so much. I need it. But I will never forget the piece of advice he told me. He made this kind of simile of learning like a sponge. And asking questions. So every time I go into a room, if there's things that I don't understand, it's okay to ask questions, because the best kind of ignorance is bliss and not knowing, so that I can learn and I can grow and I can learn from hard moments of my life where moving to a different country without anybody to be with me and having to learn the hard way, having somebody go, you're not good enough and we have to change everything about you. And I'm just by myself at 17. I was a fetus when I moved to London. And I'm lucky for those hardships because I wouldn't be, the boss that I am today. So I think that people should realize that actresses and actors too, even though some of them are idolized, it's a thing to look up to. I mean, if Sutton Foster walked in right now, I'd shat myself. I would shart myself. But I understand too, and it makes me feel strong that I know that she might have her own struggles, and I definitely have my own struggles. And it's good that we keep the conversation open about it, because at the end of the day, we are just human. And I love the fact that New York has accepted me just being myself. It's hard for me not to unless I'm getting paid.
And you shared a lot of that on social media, and even like on your Broadway.com vlog, and there were a lot of sort of opportunities to sort of show what you actually were going through. And what kind of reactions did you get from being that open?
Oh, I don't know. I don't like looking at reactions when it comes to social media.
It's tough.
I don't really care social media, but I'm grateful that the reactions in real life with real people and real Eva. I've made so many lovely, wonderful friends here, and I'm continuing to. And you're lovely. You invited me to come to your show, and it's lovely. I'm very grateful to be in a positive, accepting community.
How much did you think about what the next, and I'm sure there's a team, I'm sure you have a team, what the next thing would be after Miss Saigon? I know that you've sort of considered some other things.
I did, yeah.
And you chose Hadestown. So what went into that thought, and what were you trying to show people this time out?
I think I was trying to show people what I wanted to prove to myself was being in a show as big as Miss Saigon and legendary, and epic is the word. Hadestown is now a completely different epic in my life. It is an epic where I just see it as this marble chapel, and it's so beautiful to enter. And not that I wasn't ever grateful in Saigon, because without Saigon I would be nothing. But to walk into a show like this, that I find the story heartbreaking and inspiring, but also being able to sing Anaïs's music and think the way that Rachel sees, and just be this beautiful character that is timeless and can be whoever the audience comes in wants her to be. That is special to me. And that makes Eva excited in life. So for me, that's hugely different. And I think my team, and we are a team, love my team. My team really wanted me to, they've always been encouraging whatever makes me happy. And they also know that I love a challenge. So Hadestown would have been a huge challenge in music, type of music.
Right.
I mean, it's sung through to like everything else I've done. But when it came to developing a character like this, it's been hugely challenging, but the most satisfying thing I think I've ever done in my career so far, for sure.
Because you're also getting to work with Andre DeShields, who's basically an icon. Let's talk about Andre DeShields.
Can we talk about Andre DeShields? What a legend.
What is it like to actually be with Andre DeShields?
Andre DeShields is a walking one-man show, and he never takes a night off. Everything he says goes so far. He gives the best advice.
Okay.
He comes out with some things that deeply shock me, and I rarely get shocked. And also his way of opening your eyes to things that you hadn't really thought, because he's a director as well.
Right. Yeah.
Obviously, he's just incredible. He'll say things that, when he says it, it sounds so simple, like, I should have known that. But they're existential. They change the meaning of life, you know? And he knows a lot about Greek mythology. He knows a lot about history and about ancient Romans and everything like that. He just studied that. He just knows it. So sometimes in Hadestown rehearsals, when we have questions, he goes, you do know that blank, blank, blank. And everyone will drop their whatever they're holding and go, oh yeah. He just blows everyone away. And he's also really funny. And
he can move.
Can
we talk about the ography?
Move.
I mean,
that he does himself. He changes all the time, and he's just, he is Hermes in real life.
Do you get intimidated when you're around like legends like that? Like, because you seem real confident and like you just sort of your own person. But that's kind of how you have to enter. Right?
I do, but I don't get intimidated to the point where I can't speak unless it was Sutton Foster. She's the only person I genuinely. So I told you before the Tony Awards, before we literally were going to go on stage to perform, I was in my Kim do, and I walked up to her in her beautiful gown with Liana, and we were just like crying. I was like, why can't I speak English?
And what did she do?
She was like, oh, you're so sweet. And we took a picture, and I cried. I don't even remember what I said.
She's the most unassuming, lovely person ever.
I think I just made sounds at her. I'm so sorry, Sutton. I love you. But with Andre, it's amazing. I like just to ask questions to people like that because they're so wise and they're fun. And I just want to be friends rather than putting them in the sky. I mean, why can't I be in the sky too? Why can't we just have a good laugh? And I want to learn from you. I want to have a good time with you.
Awesome.
It's fun.
We're going to take another break. Be right back with more Eva Noblezada. We are back with Eva Noblezada in Hadestown. Eurydice. I like the off-the-shoulder look you're doing right now.
We have a run-through today, so I figured I'd come dressed as the part.
When you look at the actual story of Eurydice and Orpheus, you could kind of see her as a victim. The story. I mean, because she sort of, she suffers from her man's mistakes, right? Fair to say.
New news. Just kidding. Just kidding.
That old story.
That old story.
So how are you able to, but yet the character feels very strong and powerful, and so how do you make that out of that?
Well, I think in any story that I've seen Eurydice in, she doesn't say anything. Like she actually says nothing.
Wow.
So for me, I go, okay, how am I going to play that? It's me. It's Eva Noblezada. And I'm very, very grateful that I think developing this character slowly but surely, Anaïs and Rachel and everybody on Hadestown, we've been very supportive of adding a punk kind of quality and almost like half of me as well into this character because she is a survivor. Her first opening song introduces her saying, I've been like this all my life. All I've ever known is how to survive against the wind. Survive with 3 matches in my pocket, you know, a backpack of all my essentials, on the road, walking. That's her. She's a tough girl. So I wanted to make sure that she was relatable and not a mute, not a victim. because it's, especially now,
Yeah.
she's not a victim.
Right.
She's a woman who's gone through a lot, and she just happens to fall in love with somebody who absolutely sweeps her off her feet. And that song that I get to sing, that I can't wait till you guys see it, it's so beautiful because she's saying, I am this girl, I'm tough, I've been in many bar fights, I have been with all the wrong guys, but she never victimizes herself, and she also goes, but I've only ever known how to take care of this, but now all I want to do is hold you.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna love you.
Is that really, Eva? Is that really what you're like? I mean, what were you like in high school? You sound like you were very busy, first of all, doing a lot of musicals.
I made myself busy. I worked my butt off in and out of school, doing things like taught myself how to cry in the shower, made a makeshift recording studio in my closet, where like YouTube
Wait, back up. What happened in the shower?
I taught myself how to cry.
But that was just, you were just like, I'm going to do this?
Well, if I did it in my room with no music, my mom would be like, what's wrong with her? She still asks that.
So that's where you learned how to do that?
Well, also, it's better for your pores. The hot water, you know.
Right. So you just said, I'm going to learn how to do this.
I had to.
I had to. I'm going to be Miss Saigon.
You pretend the wall is your lover and you're in the rain. You could be doing the Audrey Hepburn cat scene to yourself. It's helpful. Thank goodness for it, because I have to cry.
So then you made a makeshift recording studio
in my closet. In my closet.
To record what?
I mean, YouTube karaoke's were the thing back in my day.
Were you uploading videos to YouTube? Of
course I was.
Are those videos out there?
I think I deleted them, and thank God Eva was smart 3 years ago, because if those are still out, actually that'd be quite funny. I'd like to drink and watch those.
You got rid of them.
I think I did, which was a good decision. There were so many Smash covers, a lot of Maybe This Time, Tick Tick Boom, Come to Your Senses.
Oh, Come to Your Senses, yeah. What was your best one?
My best one? They were all great. No,
I'm
they
sure.
weren't. I think the best one was Bound to You. You know? Burlesque.
No. Oh, yeah.
Bound to You.
Uh-huh.
That was a good
one. That was your big
I think that was the first one I deleted, actually.
Are there... You played a lot of roles in high school.
I did.
Would you like to do any of those roles on Broadway now?
I don't think I would like to do Ariel and Footloose.
You want to do Footloose on Broadway?
Sure,
you want to go from...
I do not want to do that. That is not the role for me.
You just want to sing Let's Hear It for the Boy. Oh, that's not Ariel.
No, but that's the better song.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
I'm not holding out for a hero. Right. I am my own damn hero. But let's hear it for the boy.
So you want to move on from the high school roles?
I'm grateful I did those. It was a plethora of roles and allowed me in a non-professional setting to get to know what my body, how my brain worked with comedy, which I've not yet to do on stage, but I think it's pretty funny in real life. I did do Romeo and Juliet.
Oh.
That was fun.
Yeah.
That was, I think, one of my favorites I've done.
Okay.
But no singing was involved.
You're back on Broadway.
Yes, we are.
What are your goals?
I don't know. I don't like making 5-year plans because things change. Like sometimes I wake up and go, God, I wish I was in fashion. And then sometimes I wake up and I go, God, I really want cake for breakfast. Like it just changes all the time. I will say I am working on my album.
Ooh, nice.
It will not be musical theater.
Cool.
Because I don't want to sing that.
So what will it be?
They're all originals.
Wow.
If Jessie Ware and Amy Winehouse had a baby.
When do I get this? I want this album immediately.
That's a good question because I need to actually get on it.
Get on that.
Yeah, it's been busy, Paul. We've been doing stuff.
So people are gonna come and learn about mythology, and it's gonna be sexy, and it's gonna be fun, and the music's amazing.
Sexy.
I don't know if we really sold the music, but it's really like.
If you could please listen to the original cast recording. Hadestown.
Yes. You mean the one that already exists? Are they gonna record it again?
The one that already exists.
Will there be a new one?
Who knows? I have no idea. Hopefully. That'd be so cool.
Well, Eva, we have to let you go because you're in a big Broadway musical. I can't wait to see what the next thing is.
But come see Hadestown.
Come see Hadestown, honestly. It's fantastic. Brand new musical, and it's an amazing cast. And Andre de Shields as a bonus. He feels like bonus, right? It's
that is bonus.
Cherry on top of the musical.
5 cherries.
Right.
Yeah.
Send my love to Mr. Reeve Carney.
I will.
Thank you for being here.
Thank you, Paul.
Thank you for watching. We'll see you next time.